Hello, I'm High Heel Knight. Welcome to my channel. This is my miniature review of John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. The movie takes place shortly after the second film. In the second film, John Wick killed a high-ranking member of this global assassin organization. He did it at the Continental Sanctuary in New York, which is an absolute no-no. So a multi-million-dollar bounty is placed on John Wick's head, and the longer John Wick lives, the higher and higher the bounty becomes. So more and more people, assassins, are randomly trying to kill John Wick. So Wick has to somehow find a way to survive as long as possible and hopefully get the bounty lifted off of him. So that's the story in a nutshell without getting into spoilers. But I will say, if you saw the first movie and you saw the second movie, then you know the big driving force of this series are the amazing stunts. Keanu Reeves reprises his role as John Wick, and he does most of the stunts, and they are spectacular. The stunt work is amazing. It's actually almost too much. There were times, especially toward the end, I was like, I'm getting full of action. I would like to have a little more story, a little break. It's like, especially since there are times when John Wick can kill somebody in like 2 or 3 seconds, and then there are other times you're taking like 30 seconds to a minute to even like a minute and a half. And it's just so strange. And in one moment he's just, just killing off people like that, and another one's like, and it's like, but I will say, action's amazing. There's action with animals, there's action with vehicles, there's action with gunplay, and it's not just shoot, shoot, shoot. It's actual fighting, like with guns, taking the guns and beating people down. So on that front, it's amazing. That front, don't have to worry about. Another thing I liked is that the story is much more simplified and tighter than it was in the second movie. The second movie had great action, but the story was really messy. I was really disappointed on the story level, especially as the first movie has such an excellent story along with the action. So in this movie, the story is even simpler, which makes everything a little more easy to digest overall. So on the story front, action is fine. On the negatives, first thing, in these kind of action movies, lots of faceless underlings, and they get killed left and right. You find them in the Rambo movies and most of the Schwarzenegger movies, and all these spy movies where just random thugs get killed. On the one hand, that's gonna be fine. But in this movie, they set up that this organization of assassins are like, following certain rules and protocols, and it's like there's scenes where massive amounts of underlings are killed for no reason. No reason whatsoever. They're going after somebody else, and the underlings are just there, just standing around, just minding their own business and being killed. There's a great deleted scene in the first Austin Power movie where one of the underlings that gets killed, you find out in a deleted scene that he had a family, a wife, and kids, and they're all just waiting for him to come home. He's been like employee of the month. He's just a nice, happy family. He's just some guy working at, that happens to be for an organization. And I just feel that a lot of these underlings, they were just minding their own business and getting killed left and right for no good reason. That really frustrated me. And the other thing I didn't like is that a lot of these action movies, the hero, no matter how much you beat him down, no matter how much cut him or shoot him, they seem to always be able to get back up and keep fighting. On the one hand, that's not really fine in those fantasy movies like Schwarzenegger and Stallone and stuff. But this movie, it's supposed to be treating these actions a little more realistically. So it's just kind of strange when John Wick just keeps going and going, especially the end. The end is like, that is absurd. That is absurd. You might as well be the Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw movie coming up, because that's going to be stupid and absurd and close to being a cartoon. So it's like, please don't become Hobbs and Shaw. I don't want you to go down that road. I like your, it's fantasy violence, but still it's like some level of realistic. Keep the realism. That ending, really, really left a bad taste in my mouth. But other than that, I enjoyed it. I definitely recommend it. It's exciting. It's wonderful. Like I said, with so much action, I'm actually getting full. I was like, okay, I don't know, I'm good on the action. But yeah, I was really frustrated with the killing of the faceless underlings and the way John Wick just keeps going despite all this physical trauma that happens to him, especially the end. So yes, I recommend the movie overall. But yeah, I was a little frustrated about a couple of parts with John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. Now, if you have seen the movie, I'd love to know what you thought of the film. Be sure to share whatever comments you have in the comment section. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, or dislike, share, and subscribe. Once again, I'm High Heel Knight. Thank you for watching, and remember, find inspiration everywhere.